Our next speaker is a lady who's turned her father's single laboratory into a 2,000 crore rupee empire. Please welcome the Managing Director and CEO of Metropolis Healthcare, Ameera Shah. Ameera.
When I was 21, I came back to India and decided and just looked around me, and I found that it was really annoying that there weren't Indians who could get actually really high-class pathology reports, and you couldn't figure out what was wrong with you and how do you get yourself treated. And so I said to myself, look, there's a great opportunity to really build something which is global practices, world-class, affordable, because India needs something to be affordable. And can we do something that's branded, standardized, and the same across the country without, having to do this mom-and-pop stuff? So I've pretty much spent now the last 15 years in building this business, branded Metropolis. And we've gotten to about 800 centers. We're in 7 countries. We've got about 3,800 people. And it's been nothing but a joyous ride. I mean, there's been a huge number of highs and lows, but every one of them has just been adding to the life experience, which has actually made me lead to finding my own voice. And the voice and that gut is really a combination, I think, not only of head, but of heart, and more of life experiences and all those combinations of those failures that we've gotten along. So I think as a woman entrepreneur, the biggest challenge is to really find your own space, that you can put aside all the other things that everyone's telling you, and to say, let me go out there and build this without any excuses, without any justifications, just true to who I am. We talk about the next step and growth. So I think the question for me really for the next step is always, for any decision, is a combination of head, heart, and gut. And I think that's a combination of all the experiences. Thank you so much.
It's time now for our second panel of the evening. This panel discussion is titled Funding, Too Little versus Too Much.
Chitra, what's the right time to go for funding? Because I know as the head of the National Stock Exchange, you said that companies should go public only when they're ready for it.
I can say that in the last 2 years, when we've engaged with about thousands of them, I think the starting point is the awareness of the options of financing is very limited. Second, they do not have a good way to analyze the cost benefit of raising outside sources of capital. Only when there is a strong trigger for growth and expansion, balance sheet expansion, do they even think about outside sources of capital. So, right time, obviously, when there is a crying need for them to expand from where they are or to reassess the kind of funding that they're already doing for their businesses. This seems to be the point in time when they are taking that decision.
Vinod, you wanted to take us through, you now special are you debt fund. So what's the order? Debt, equity, debt, equity, debt, debt, equity. What's the order that people
all of them,
in this room?
All the time. That's the answer.
They're all there all the time?
All of them all the time.
Okay.
So in terms of the right time to raise capital, it's when you don't need it at all, in my view. Mm-hmm. Because that's the time when entrepreneurs can truly call the shots. I mean, there are many people in this room who've done that excellently. I think good entrepreneurs plan for 12, 18 months. Great entrepreneurs plan for like 5 years and keep taking those steps and keep raising capital all the time. But the primary role is ensuring that the company has sufficient resources, to keep executing on its plans. The rest, you'll have time to make it fall into place.
Well, how do you, to throw something back at you from an earlier interview, how do you protect your investors at the same time give flexibility to execute on the plans to a promoter?
We have huge entrepreneurial empathy. One of the real belief that I have is that the entrepreneur knows better about what the plan is and what execution is. I think when we start interfering and when we start overlaying our beliefs, I think there is something not quite right. There are times when you have to step in, when you have to course correct, like Rahul was saying, you have to set the rocket in the right trajectory. So we are great as perspective providers because we see so many companies day in and day out. We see how technology is democratizing the world. So I don't think there is any specific answer of how I should behave and how they should behave. But yes, in an ideal world, we know what we should do and they should know what they should do.
I think we're completely out of time. Thank you so much.
for us, we were very happy to receive the offer from Forbes that we become a partner with them to recognize and reward talent and to really be part of this networking summit. So it is a platform where, we feel that Panoy is always achieving the best. We always, we're coming up with very rare timepieces and innovations. So it really goes hand in hand in what Forbes is doing today.
Next week, we bring you yet another power-packed episode with some of the best life stories and entrepreneurial discourses that define entrepreneurial India. Don't forget to tune in.